Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Pretty sure you guys are familiar now with, what car I run in. I'm Asian Islander, I'm Cambodian. When I got to Florence, there wasn't a lot of Asians or Islander. When I got there was about 9 of us, 9 homies, but we all crashed because someone was fucked up. Then the rest of them, or the other some more, were protecting and covering up for each other. So I ended up going to the SHU for about 6 months, came out for 3 weeks, went to the SHU for another month. But when I come back out of the SHU this time, I finally get to settle in. I'm getting my workout routine going. I got my handball schedule going. I go in at 10:30 when people go into lunch. When they call recall at 10:30, when everybody's coming out back into the unit, that's when I leave and go up to the rec to go play handball. While everybody else go to lunch, me and a handful of people are in the gym playing handball. It's the only time that we can get a competitive game because skill level is a little different. So the people that knows how to play and that enjoy playing, we all come during the lunch period so we can all get a good sweat and good game in. The people I used to play handball with was an older TS named Player. Old man Willie, he's a TS member. The homie Scope out here from Glendale, and the homie Pup. He's got a weird name. He's black. Pup is from Arizona, but he's got 2 life sentences in Arizona. He spent I think he did about 18 years in the feds, and in 2020, the state of Arizona came and picked him up and took him back to Arizona. Me and Pup got real cool. He's a Crip from Arizona, but when I met him, he had become a Muslim. Now, before he became a Muslim, the way he went about it was he went to his homies, to all his Crip homies, to the older Crip homies, and was letting them know, say, hey, I'm trying to give my life to Allah. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna aid and assist the homie. You talking about the Crip. But when he say he aid and assist the homie, he's an individual that doesn't draw lines between race and gangs. He's on man time. If you're his friend, he's gonna back your play. But in the system, in the federal system right now, a lot of people that convert to I don't want to say they convert to Islam, because I don't want to be disrespectful to any religious group that have people that are true believers or that are sincere about their beliefs and changing their lives. But a lot of these dudes in the federal system that become Muslim are running and hiding. Maybe they're ex-gang members because they, usually, a lot of them told on a case, or a lot of them got sex cases, and they know if they hit the yard and try to run with their people, whether it's white, Mexicans, blacks, or their gang, eventually their shit's gonna come up and the people's gonna deal with them. But like I've repeated again, and when I say these things, it's not to despair the religion or be disrespectful. I'm just solely speaking on the individuals that are inside the penitentiary and the reason they convert and become Muslim. That's not to say that they're not men that have, come to a point in their lives where they see the things that they've been doing isn't working and they want to turn themselves into a higher calling, turn their life over to a higher power. there are those individuals that I've met along the way, whether they become Christians, Buddhists, Muslim, whatever religion they follow, these individuals that I've met, I believe from my perspective are sincere about it and are really trying to change their lives. It's just that there's so many other ones that are participating in these different religious service or trying to be part of these different religious groups, so they don't have to deal with the drama and the politics that goes on in the penitentiary. Really, it's a free ride because everybody else is dealing with the bullshit while you're over here pretending you're a religious person and you don't get your hands dirty, but you get all the you get all the rewards, all the privileges that comes with other people dealing with the garbage, you know. But the homie Pup, you know, because me and him, we didn't have an issue or anything, but, you know, I'm always, when I become friends with somebody and I care about them, I'm always trying to figure out their mentality, why they do certain things that, from my perspective, doesn't align with the things that we believe. Now, he had a cellie, Mustafa. I might have gotten the name wrong because everybody that converts to, everybody that becomes Muslim picks up a Muslim name. So a lot of them are like Abdul, Mustafa, Ali, you know, so on and so forth, Arabic names. And he had an old black man that was his cellie. Me and him are neighbors. He had an old black man that was cellie, and he ran a store. So, you know, I do a lot of business. I'm always moving in and out. I'm always cooking, so I might not have some in my locker that the store might have, so I'll go and get some. And no one's ever got an issue with getting paid back for me or anything like that. But I liked it, the old man too. You know, he's selling. But while we're there and in kicking it, and over the course of time, it came out that the old man is a rat. That's his cellie that became, he's a Muslim now. But you know, when I see the old man, I see him with his kufi, I see him with his Quran, I see him with his little brief, you know, his he got his khaki cut up, where it's like wearing floods, because you know, somewhere in the Quran says roll your pant legs up so it doesn't drag in hell's fire. You know, so you look at the dude, you look and you see that by all account, by his present, this dude is a believer. He became Muslim and he's studying the Quran and all that stuff, right? So I never really pay attention to anything. But every now and then, I see the old man, he'll come out like we just kicking it or whatever, watching, because he's next door to me, and the native TV and the table is right here in front of my cell. So I just keep my door open. I don't close my door during the day. I keep my door wide open. I put a string across the door and put a sheet on there, you know, so I can just move the curtain in and out or whatever if I need to have privacy. But I'm posted up. You know, throughout the day, you'll find me in front of my cell or in my cell just kicking it with my door open, watching TV or something, unless I'm out in the yard. Because like I said, Florence ain't too much to do over there. So every now and then, I see the old man, Pup's neighbor, he dressed up and he got this little brand new sweatsuit that's kind of almost light blue, a little bit, you know, darker than gray. Looks pretty crisp, and he's got his G-Shock, the white G-Shocks. You know, G-Shock. Like you know, even though when people are locked up, they can never escape like the mentality. You know, G-Shock, they sell them for $99 in a certain prison. Some of them are solid, some of them are black, some of them are red, some of them are gold, different colors. But when somebody brings a G-Shock to another yard that doesn't sell it, there's always a handful of people on that yard that's trying to buy the G-Shock from whoever brought it from another yard. Like I said, it sells for $99 in the commissary because the commissary is not allowed to sell you any item that costs more than $100. So some expensive item, whatever, it maxed out at $99 unless it's like a SPO, which is a special purchase order that you have to go through rec. But if you take a G-Shock to another yard that don't have them, you can get 300 to 500 for them all day long. Same thing with the Lokes. You know, the one, I've never seen them till I came to the penitentiary. The Lokes that I remember were the ones you get for $5 and $3 at 7-Eleven. But now, if you can get a hold of those ones at 7-Eleven on a California yard, you get a hold of one of those, dog, them Crips and Bloods, it's $7 at the 7-Eleven. They'll pay you $300-400 for it because, like, it's comical to me, but everybody can't let go of the street. They can't let go of the persona, of the life, you know, that they always lived. And I'm not saying they should. I'm just letting you know that they can't. And if you're an opportunist, you look at it and you take advantage of it. Back to Florence. So so part of the conversation that I engaged with Pup when it came out that his cellie had a life sentence. His cellie was an old dope man, you know, selling drugs, I don't know, whatever. But he was the head of his indictment. And he ended up telling on everybody beneath him. Like, the only reason I said that it came to light because I'm real in tune with people's behavior, people's demeanor. So like I was saying, when you look at this old man, you always saw him with his kufi on, with his Quran, with his little briefcase, with his pants, you know, folded up. And you would think that, you know, he's a faithful follower of this religion. But like I said, every now and then he would come out all crisp up with his new sweatsuit, with his G-Shock, with his Lokes, and would just sit there. You know, at first it was like, okay, old man, you all G'd up, okay. You know, it was comical, but it was almost like cute, I guess if that's the word, because, you know, you got an old man that's still trying to dress like he an old gangster back in the day, so it comes across funny a little bit, you know, but not in a disrespectful way, but just like, oh, okay, what's up, OG, you know. But, you know, when you meet somebody that has committed themselves to a certain religion, to a certain cause, they, in essence, relinquish their old life, their past. Because a lot of those people that's moved on, that's found religion and found God, they had issues with their past. Not saying they were ashamed of it or anything, but they weren't satisfied with what they've been doing. So they found something new and they're pursuing that by letting go of the past. So when I see people that are professing to be a religious person, a believer, or they found religion or whatever, but are still, you know, dipping and dabbing in the hustle, still smoking, still doing whatever it is to do it. I don't got nothing against you. You can do that all day long, but don't, when I sit around you, try to preach to me when I see you over there sneaking around the corner, go mess with some boys. You know, I don't give a fuck you got a kufi on. You over there in the room fucking with some boys. And for me, as far as I know, Islam, Muslim, they're the worst as far as having things against homosexuality and stuff. But like I said, again, I don't care what you do, but just don't sit here and try to tell me that you're something that you're not. So we start, you know, so I started looking at the old man a little different because I never hear him talk about his case. Every vibe from the old man tells me that he's hiding something, that everything's probably not all the way kosher. So I hit up Pup one day and I was like, damn, man, what's up with your cellie, homie? He's like, what's up? He goes, man, I heard that dude, the old man ain't all the way right. And, you know, and Pup paused. He's like, man. I was like, damn, what? I said, how? You know, when I say how, I'm asking him like, you's a gangster, homie. I know you converted to Islam, but what the fuck are you doing with this old man that you know is fucked up? And, you know, his answer to me was like, I gave myself to the community. I gave myself to Allah. I don't run the community. The community, we have an imam. But you know, giving your life up to Allah and becoming a Muslim, because Muslim means, if I got the translation right, is someone who's devoted to God or committed to God or something like, or serves God, something to that translation. I could be incorrect, but you know, from his perspective, it's like, man, I can only be accountable for me, and this is what I chose. And Allah say, like, hey, anybody in our community, we have to accept them until they show us otherwise. You know, whether I agree with whatever it is they got going on or not, at the end of the day, Pup, I had a lot of respect for him. Because, for one, there was nothing wrong with his record. There was nothing wrong with his jacket. He didn't do something fucked up. He didn't tell nobody and then became a Muslim to hide out. And before he became a Muslim, like I said, he went to all his homies and got their blessings and told them, hey, man, I want to move on with my life. I want to give my life to a higher calling. And when you're on man time, when men see that you've done everything that's been expected of you, that's asked of you, but you came to a point in your life where you're like, hey, man, I'm tired of it. I want to move on with my life. These people have no choice but to respect that. If these dudes that you call your homie see that you've done everything up to this point that they have expected, even, you know, beyond the shit that they would even do themselves. So when it's time for you to ask for your retirement, for you to move on, and if someone has an issue with you, well, that fool was never your homie in the first place. Because if we're homies, we're always going to want the best for each other. We're always going to want the people around us to grow and evolve. You know, especially if it's from a perspective that's honorable, you know. But, you know, when me and Pup is sitting there, and I know I'm getting a little winded with the story, but the point that I was trying to make is that when I met him, he's already been there 16, 17 years. He got, I think, like a 18, 20-year sentence for the feds. Then have to go back to Arizona for 2 life sentences. He's got 2 bodies. So when we were in Florence, he's been gone 18 years. But he's got little homies that grew up, that are on the street, that are growing up, that are of age where they're researching and trying to find their big homies and stuff. Well, he's been in prison for the last 18 years. Well, these kids, his little homies, they've had these dudes out on the street that they've been idolizing as their big homie. You know, running around, putting in work for them, doing whatever they're doing for them. You know, looking up to these dudes, thinking these dudes are gangsters. But, you know, when they reached out to Pup, and they were telling him, yeah, man, I'm out here kicking it with the so-and-so, whoop, 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 this and that. And Pup's like, you might want to go read that case, right? So it turned out, Pup was one of the younger one in his indictment. And the older ones that's supposed to have been his big homie told on him on the 2 bodies. You know, my point is that, you know, all these dudes, these real dudes, these men that's been putting in work, they're all locked up because they've been putting in work out in the streets. But you got these other dudes that's been out here for the last 20 years that's supposed to be a gangster, that's supposed to be gangster, and got youngsters looking up to them like they big homies, but they ain't never been in jail. No one ever seen them do anything. Yeah, they tell you a lot of war stories, but when you get to the nitty gritty, what the fuck have they ever really done? But they're out here pretending that they're the big homie, that they know better. And you got all these kids running around following them. And then they come to find out that the real ones are locked up because these buses that's supposed to be OGs were the ones that told on them and sent them to prison. You know, much love to the homie Pup. I put his name up on there. I lost my phone book, so I couldn't. Cause you know, I try to send pictures and stuff to the homies as best I can. But a couple months ago, I lost my phone book. But You know, the point of this video was just to give him his due, his respect. And also, I know I speak, you know, when I speak about the Muslim car, I know I come across like I have, you know, some type of issue and feelings towards that. And I do. You know, there's no doubt about that. That I don't, for me personally, not that it matters to their community or anything, I just don't want rats and child molesters around me. I don't give a fuck what name we fall under, what you want to call ourselves. I don't want those individuals around me. But at the same time, without doubt, I've met some great men that has converted, that were gangsters and stuff and gave themselves to Allah. But these dudes, they were sincere with their conversion. And for that, I just want to, you know, give them their dues and give them their respect. Welcome to the USP.